Have you ever tried to study but you just could not focus? I had the same problem today. I looked at my books but I could not study. So I decided to leave my room and study somewhere different. I decided to go to a small cafe near my home. I packed my notebook, my book, and my pen. I also took my headphones with me. I was ready to study. The weather was nice and warm. I walked slowly to the cafe. It was only a few minutes from my home. I was feeling a little excited. Finally, I arrived at the cafe. It looked small but very comfortable. I could see people sitting inside. I opened the door and went in. The cafe was not very crowded. There were a few people talking. I looked for a quiet place to sit. Then I found a small table near the window. I really liked this table. I could see the street through the window. There were trees outside, and the sunlight was beautiful. I thought this is a perfect place to study. Before I started studying, I wanted something to drink. I ordered a cup of coffee. I also asked for a glass of water. Then I went back to my table. I opened my book and took out my notebook. I started reading the first page. I wrote some important notes. I was finally ready to study. But after a few minutes, I lost my focus. I started looking around the cafe. Someone was talking near me. I could also hear music in the background. I took a deep breath. Then I put my phone inside my bag. I told myself no more distractions. I started reading again. This time, I could focus better. I read 2 pages. Then I wrote some notes. I was happy because I was making progress. After studying for a while, I took a short break. I looked outside the window. I drank some of my coffee. It felt nice to rest for a few minutes. After my break, I opened my book again. I felt fresh and ready. I was surprised by how much I had studied. It was getting late, so I decided to go home. I closed my book and notebook. I put everything into my bag. Then I finished my coffee and stood up. I walked out of the cafe. The air outside felt cool and fresh. I felt tired, but I was happy. I had finished most of my work. If you cannot focus today, try changing your place. If you want to improve your English, please subscribe my channel and don't forget to like and comment. See you in the next video. Bye-bye.